Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday service. Today is September 25th. Thank you for joining us virtual and in person. My name is Shinran Sama, and I'll be your MC. You can all rise. We'll have the offering of incense and an entering of Minister Reverend Marco Sawada.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We'll now have the singing of GATHA Shinshu Shuka on page 111 in your red service book. Shinshu Shuka. Please be seated. We will now have the chanting of TANBUTSU-GE on page 57 to 61, followed by Nembutsu Echo on page 65. Chanting of TANBUTSU-GE, page 57 to 61.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
五世徳部不行志願一切空空一切大や形式無部百千六万無料大小収入五者供養一切指導勝負不尿武道検証不脚非尿五者勝負世界不不可け無種節度光明師匠変師匠国尿税精進異人難病両がサブ国土第一五種奇妙登場調整国尿内四二無闘争ガト愛民道大一切実法来所新年少女意図が国経楽安の公部神妙税が新書発願王非力少所欲実法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信行計量心死食毒中画行精進人寿不西功徳平等聖祭道法菩提心往生Palms together in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. We vow to give refuge to all this marital truth together to raise the mind of the body and awaken to the realm of serenity and joy. Namandab, 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 Namandab.
We will now have the reading of Introduction to Shin Buddhism on page 137, followed by Dharma talk. Reverend Marcus Sawada.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's open page 116. No, 116, no, sorry. Yes. 137. Introduction to Shin Buddhism. Master Shinran followed Master Honin his path to open his path of the Nembutsu. We are going to read from the third paragraph here until the final. Shinran shared a similar path. He entered the monastery at the age of 9, then spent 20 years in study of Tendai teachings. The experience, however, left him empty and feeling far away from the awakening the Buddha described. He felt the monastery in 1201 and joined the Sangha established by Honin. In his teacher, he saw a different model of Buddhist teaching. A person who considered himself first and foremost above, an originary and enlightened being whose mind was clouded by ignorance and filled with self-centeredness, and exhibited total humility in all aspects of his life. Through Honen and the teachings of the Nembutsu, Shinran discovered a path of Buddhism open to him. He wrestled with the fact that the gaining of knowledge and the practice during his 2 decades on Mount Hiei had not made him a better person. In fact, that experience had left him more arrogant, feeling superior to those who studied and practiced less than he. As a result, it left him even further away from the awakening he saw in the model of Shakyamuni Buddha. In Honen and in teaching of Nembutsu, he realized that the Buddhism is truly universal and open to anyone who could come to an honest evaluation of himself as a being controlled by ego. It was an awakening to the truth that he was a Bongo. In Namu Amida Butsu, he saw the vehicle that enabled him to see the truth about himself. Namu represents the ignorance that creates suffering for the self and for those around him, while Amida Butsu represents the truth extolled by Buddhism, the reality of life as described in the Four Noble Truths. Pure-headed Buddhism has often been incorrectly described as a theistic version of Buddhism, with Amida Buddha in the role of a god,
leading us to salvation, expressed as birth in the Pure Land. Shinran's understanding, however, was that Amida Buddha was not a mythical Buddha who promised salvation to anyone who respects his name, but rather a symbol for the Dharma itself. Shin Buddhism, therefore, is a teaching which brings about a true understanding of the life of suffering the Buddha described and the ignorance which creates it. It is a path of Buddhism that shows that awakening is available to all beings.
It is the path of those who are struggling to survive, who do not have an opportunity to live
Live in monasteries and devote their lives to study and training, who cannot, through their own powers, polish their lives and climb the ladder towards enlightenment. It addresses the concern of all human beings, requires only an unswervingly honest inspection of one's own sheer limitations. That honest reflection in Shinran's mind was the first and essential step towards awakening and liberation. Namamida.
We read a lot of things, but maybe it's hard to you, the other side, watching to understand. But Shinran's struggles took him to really try to find the real meaning of what does mean this life. And today, I want to talk about Nembutsu. But before we talk about Nembutsu, you have to make a reflection about what does mean this I, this self. I think the big problem of everyone is because people look the world in different angles. If you have 80 billion people, you have 80 billion different visions, different approaches of life, of reality. We think we are thinking the same way. Sometimes we have this coincidence. But what you think about this self, this is only my mind. Yeah? For me, this Marcos Sensei is Sensei because I'm in the position like now of minister. But who people is the other side there? You are what to me? You are not. You don't have the same kind of understanding about Marcos. You have your understanding about Marcos. Then, but for this, everything we try to make a difference to you, make your appeal to appear more. Like you try to get high education, you try to be a respect person, like become famous, or people can call you and they look at you in more higher level or higher customer. This is higher level, but this is only makes us to, I would say, feed this bigger problem called the self. That this word we have a lot of conflict. Why we have conflict? Because we are all have our own vision of life, and this has become a collective, a group ego, and we try, for example, my right and your right is different. My counter right, our counter right and the other counter right is different. Our right in our sect or religion is different from other Buddhist sect. Yeah, this is what we make different. This is, we create a parallel world in the world. This is why we have problems. that all things Shakyamuni Buddha realized, everything doesn't have any substance. What do you think about the reality? What do you think about beliefs? What do you think about is on you. Yeah. When I, for example, I give one money for homeless, we are increasing the problem, social problem. But of course, I can say, oh, I'm doing something good for him or good for her, or this homeless person. But this is my mind. I try everything to come back for myself, to protect myself, to people think about good about myself. And I'm not sure if I'm happier than I decide what means happy. My concept of the happiness is in my mind, but I'm not sure if this concept is in their minds too. It's different. That's the reason we have this problem in the world, because this self-centered vision about the things. And my ideal and others' ideal usually is different. Yeah? When it's good for me, it doesn't represent this is good for others. But in Buddhism, we try to say this good have to be a good for everything, This good is not the good sense of you get some kind of advantage, but harmonious perspective. It's good for you, it's good for me, it's good for others, it's good for animals, it's good for environment, it's good for the rocks, it's good for the bacteria, it's good, but good is not as it is. This is what is really hard for us to look at this, because we cannot be like this mind, we cannot have, because we have only this discrimination mind, or this dualism mind, and good or bad. We can judge only for this concept. When we create concept, we create discrimination. We create who doesn't believe, who doesn't accept our concept, and we create hatred. Yeah, hatred, because they not follow us, and because they don't follow us, we have to make some kind of bullying. This is like ignorance. Ignorance means ignore, means we cannot see a clear vision about the things. That ignorance, desire, and hatred is the three poison. And the three poison is the same time what we live, we call it this samsara, the word of passions. It's all is moved by passions. And we are moved by passions. Since we feel like in the hell because no one like you, no one asks about you, no one want to stay with you, you feel really isolated, you feel lonely, you feel really hell. This is what we can say hell. Hell is no connection with everything. But there's no connection, but we have this desire to be connected. Then we try to make a difference, but make a difference, actually, we cannot remove these feelings of being lonely, yeah? Being isolated, because we want to, you think you deserve more than others. Then we go in the higher level, we call it in this samsara, is we call diva. We feel like a semi-god, like a god. We think you deserve more because you have high education, because you are, you have money, you have good social position, and you look at from the point of view you are deserve more than other. But this is the same kind of feeling of we are lonely, we are isolated, we don't feel connected. That is, we try to make all things, but what this three poisons means, actually, this pageant take us to be to togetherness. But when you say togetherness, you be one self, oneness, no, oneness is really hard because I cannot consider my wife is lesser than other ladies there. I prefer my wife, or in my case, yeah, I don't know about the others, but yeah, or my pet, yeah, my cat, or my dog is better than other dog, or if some people come here in the temple here like a homeless, I try to, well, my feeling, no, I cannot accept them, but why? Yeah, this is because I have this sense of I deserve more. Then this makes difference. Absolutely, we cannot do, but this is the reason. Then, if I want to be like a Buddha, Buddha is his enlightenment was he wasn't there. This self wasn't there. Their true reality, what more he go deep, and what he understood as a reality, he wasn't there. He was absent of his opinion, was absent about what he could do, or what he could think, or what he could judge. That there is the reason this making him to, oh, people cannot understand what does mean this. This enlightenment. This is enlightenment. People cannot understand. I will die because when I leave this body, this material body, and I leave my passions too, because I'm really attached with my passions, and this is what we call nirvana. Nirvana is overcome of the passions. We overcome the samsara, this world of passions, the life and death cycle. What does mean this? That we, to become Buddha, we think you aspire from this world, you go to the wisdom, become wise men. It's what Shakyamuni Buddha, they follow this path, and he got this path. But he understood when he does, I will die because people cannot understand this process of enlightenment. I cannot explain. But when he started to think that way, he created again this suffering, because he discriminate. People can understand, cannot understand. People deserve, cannot deserve. Then he, as a wisdom, realized that if this truth is the really truth, this wisdom is the truth, have to be for everyone, for every single people, everything, without discrimination. This is what creates a new wisdom. It's called the compassion. Compassion means everyone is that wisdom. Actually, in Buddhism, wisdom in Buddhism is compassion. And the compassion, and Shakyamuni Buddha decided not die that time, but to stay, to suffer together, to work in this work as compassion to people understand. I cannot become Buddha if you don't become Buddha first. Your suffering is my suffering. This is what is the Buddha's aspiration. I cannot become Buddha if you don't become Buddha first. That means if this truth is for you, it's true for me, has to be for you. But I have to come back to work, suffering with you, to understand your work together, to share your work together, that he come back for this world, stay this as a work, as a suffering. That what we understand as a perfect enlightenment, actually, isn't perfect. The perfect isn't perfect. And the three poisons, hatred, ignorance, and desire, actually, they are our darkness, but at the same time, they are a source of our enlightenment. That with darkness was like Shinran, Honen, when they left the monastery life, they realized that the real meaning of life was not in that way, try to get something about themselves, about individuals, but when they encounter each other and they become one with each other. That is salvation in Buddhism way, not only you pray to get some kind of advantage. You don't get any advantage when you pray. We only you feed your ego. But when we understand, not we understand, but we realize that the reality is absent of what you think, what you do, what do you verbalize, what do you act. This is what is called karma. We cannot avoid, because karma is a manifestation of yourself. We cannot change the karma, but we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible. We have to have responsibility for what we are doing, what we are acting, This is what Shinran realized. He cannot be saved because he actually in his mind he didn't aspire to be really Buddha. He preferred, and in the same time he desired to be Buddha. What is the contrast? Yeah, this you want to be Buddha, but you do everything to don't be Buddha. That realizes that we cannot be Buddha by ourselves. But then we enter in the concept of what salvation is. What can I be saved? What is my liberation? That because we are so attached with all concept of this self, we cannot be liberated from this self. We try to accept we have this self. We try to accept we are ignorant. We try to accept, but how you can accept? You realize about your own congruence, about these three poisons. That three poisons become your light. This is because we understand only concept. We are saved by concept, but we become a prisoner of the concept too. This is what we understand, and Shakyamuni would understand. But how we can be liberated is no self. But no self, how we can understand no self? If you have self, it's we continue listening every time and make us this insight about to reflect. Oh, yeah, the reality doesn't need if you agree or don't agree, you accept or don't accept. Only we awaken for the reality. Or we, I would say, we recognize that reality working with us. That we, Nembutsu means put your heart right now in Buddha's wisdom. That, like, we cannot put by ourselves, but when we have this darkness and we continue listening to something important in our life, maybe these two things make us, oh my gosh, yes, this is, oh yeah, this is. And or you go out, you forget again, but you continue listening. Yeah? Because this is make us, Nembutsu, put your heart in Buddha, means we cannot be saved, but you continuing this work as a Buddha's work, because Buddha's work means we understand from others as we understand from the others' action, our action. We can see we are not different, because if you are in the same position like that, we could kill, we could do everything, but if you want or don't want, it doesn't matter. And that's the reason Nembutsu is the moment that we can really come back for this moment right now. Because our mind only project for the future, or bring records from the past, but we never stay, mind never stay here. But we are a slave of our mind, but we have to live through the mind. You use your mind to become human again. That's like Sensei Yasuda, reading Yasuda, said, can I be human without religion? I cannot. Yeah. But the religion is not in the terms of dogmas of the organization of the religion. Makes you different from others, makes you human again. Yeah. Human is different because we have this intellect. Yeah. We can think about it. But this makes you human, is you come back, your conditions are human, means you recognize your own ignorance, your own limitation, and you cannot be saved. You cannot be saved, but you cannot be saved at the same time is your salvation. This is what I think is hard. It's hard to understand, but you realize as you can be only as you are. Only you can. You can be only human. Then you act as a human. You think as a human. But you have insight of wisdom to come back for the place we never left. Is this moment right now? Right now. This is Ichi-nen. Ichi-nen is each one name, moment, right now. You have all here right now. I have your grandpa here right now, because without your grandpa, I cannot be here now. Because if you aren't in this world, I cannot be here now. That we are all connected. This is Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu is a way we can be saved. We are saved by concept. And Namu Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. That means the name saved me. What is the name? This name is much longer than I can think, much more ancient than I can think. That this name is the proof I'm here now. When they say Namu Amida Butsu, it's my salvation. This is not in the concept of, this is represent the meanings of this Namu Amida Butsu, the history, the tradition about how people suffering before us. A lot of people, they brought this, or they bring this life to us, and the concept, no concept, everything history, everything here. Okay, Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu. Thank you. Namandabu, 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 namandabu.
Thank you, Sensei, for always reminding us about the importance of the here and now today. If you can all rise, please stand for the singing of GATHA, Shinran Sama, on page 123.
the 18 piano maybe will be better. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
We'll now have the singing of GATHA Ondokusan on page 1 and 2 on page 112 and in English on page 54. be seated. Thank you again for joining us for our Sunday service. We do have a few announcements. Next Saturday, October 1st, we will be at the Windward Mall. It will be a joint event with the Windward Buddhist Temple, where we're invited to celebrate a Bon Festival and participate in a Bon dance, starting at 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. Again, that's October 1st, Saturday, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Windward Mall. Please join us if you're available to do that. Bring your family and friends. We did not have our Bon dance here at our temple this year, so we would like to still see a lot of our members and the community come out to that event. We will be having a lot of the Bon Odori groups that we normally have here at the temple, so please join us.
And the following day, Sunday, we have important services. Is a Taikyo services for all people. Is our Taikyo list people was members here in the past, and they have built these temples to be a dojo, a place to learn. And this Taikyo is for family of these people built this temple and stay in the list. And I hope you can follow us in the YouTube channel, or come if you have some former member, you can come here in person to our services. It will be 9 a.m. Sunday, October 2nd, 8 Taikyo service. And the 23 Sunday, we have Omigaki, the short service, and Omigaki is polishing the Buddhist artifacts, the Buddhist in the altars. If you can help us, please, we need some help. And 30th, we have Honko, the major service here. The guest speaker will be Sensei BUTSU Mikawa. His memorial also for Shinran, the major service. And if you can join for this major service of our denomination, JODO SHINSHU, please come. October 3rd, the last Sunday, from 9 a.m. Thank you. You are watching us, or you follow after. Thank you so much. Your hands together in Gashu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Namu Amida Butsu.
Namu Amida Butsu. Have a good day.